I mean, I don't want to, spoil the plot here, but from everything that we've seen, Jaylen Brown has no problem playing for another team. We are not going to see tears from Jaylen Brown if he gets traded.
Right.
Now, this was obviously kind of tongue-in-cheek, the whole China thing that he was just talking about.
For sure.
But, I mean, it kind of points to his personality of, I want to be the guy, I want to make money and make accolades. I've done the team thing. I was the Finals MVP and we won a championship. Cool. I want to build my legacy. And as a human, cool, do your thing. Be the main guy. If I'm the Celtics, I have to move off of it.
Yeah.
Because this is now twice, Kevin, that they have lofted him out there in a package in the last 2.5 years. Because remember, Kevin Durant,
right,
a couple years ago, they were trying to trade him for.
Yes.
Now this one is open. Shams Charania says they are aggressively pursuing Giannis and putting Jaylen Brown at the front and center of it, saying, we obviously value you because we think you're as equal as Giannis plus some picks, but we're okay moving off from you. How do you go back into that locker room and be like, hey, it's all good, Jaylen. You're part of the team. You're part of the family. We weren't trying to trade you.
And so that's going to lead to an avenue that you want to go down to. I have a couple of questions about that avenue, but I want you to throw it out there. And also, it was Giannis along with Bobby Portis for Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, 3 first-round picks, a first-round swap, 1 second-round pick, and was it Kasparis Yakionis?
Yeah.
That is the package that got traded. All right. So then you brought up, and I believe you were talking with Fred about this. I don't know what his take on this was, but if they desperately want to move off of Jaylen Brown, what about Jaylen Brown to the Mavs?
Woo-wee!
Pitch me on it, and then you already know my 2 major issues.
So Kevin's good with the numbers, so he'll try to help me make the numbers work. But
I can make the numbers work, no problem.
If I'm the Dallas Mavericks and I see that we've got the 9th overall pick, not a great pick, kind of in no man's land. I've got some middling veterans as far as like money and role in a PJ Washington and a Daniel Gafford and a Klay Thompson, like solid role players to above average role players. Why not package everything that I just said and go get the disgruntled star in Jaylen Brown? That now fixes your defensive woes. Jaylen Brown's an all-world defender, so that's the guy next to Cooper Flagg and Kyrie Irving. Obviously, when Kyrie retires, it's still Jaylen Brown there. I just think having another superstar like that puts you over the top because I think they could already be good enough. Let me make that clear with Kyrie and Cooper. But Jaylen Brown being on the market and you are already trying to move off of Gafford. You are already trying to move off of Klay. So it's not as if, I'm giving up this player that I was building my core around. And I even threw out if they want Max Christie rather than Klay or if they want Najee instead of PJ. All those players to me are in the same realm. I love Max Christie. But for a Jaylen Brown type player to have him, Kyrie, and Cooper Flagg. Fan text, let me know if I'm crazy. How would you guys feel about Jaylen Brown on this team?
So I think you can make the numbers work pretty easily, whether you want to just go straight down the board and go Klay, Gafford, PJ, and pick number 9 to make the salaries work. If you want to go something in the realm that might be more attractive to the Celtics, it would look like Gafford, PJ, Najee, and Max Christie, and pick number 9.
I would do it.
All right, you're talking about a lot. So 2 issues I have with this. First of all, I want to know how Jaylen Brown and Kyrie are doing because that was a huge issue.
That's super fair.
Back in Boston. And then for Jaylen Brown, does he not want his own team? Mm-hmm. This will objectively not be his team.
I think those are both very valid claims. I think the first one's a little bit easier to bridge than the second one.
That's fair.
The first one, I think Kyrie has matured and kind of become the grizzled veteran and kind of spokesman of the team and like, hey, I'm just going to distribute and set up for you and Cooper all day long. The second part is a little bit harder because everything that we've said, everything you guys have heard, Jaylen Brown wants to be the guy. And It would be more of a Jason Tatum-like situation than Cooper Flagg has been comped to Tatum.
Right.
So you're now getting a younger Tatum in the situation. So I would hear it from Jaylen Brown's standpoint of like, oh, no, that wouldn't be my preference if you were asking where does Jaylen Brown want to get traded. But I think once he's here in Dallas, and it's like, hey, if he would probably average more than Cooper. Like if he averages 28 and Cooper averages 24.
And I actually think those are probably pretty reasonable numbers.
I don't think anybody would care. They'd be like, I don't think Cooper would care. I think let Jaylen think he's the guy. Who cares? Like, let Jaylen think whatever. You be our all-star. You and Cooper go toe-to-toe every time. And I venture to say that maybe Cooper would defer a little bit. Like, I don't think Cooper would care. Like,
is that what you want, though? Because I think you're right.
yeah, I don't think Cooper would be like, I need to be in front of the press. This is my team. I need to answer this question. I think Cooper would be like, I'm 21 and a rookie. Go ahead, Jaylen.
Right.
You can have a little 3-4 year. Like, it is still Cooper's team, but if we need to placate to Jaylen a little bit, he is that good of a player. I would placate to him. Hey, it's y'all's team for 3 years. It's y'all's three. It's a big three, whatever, with Kyrie. I don't even care how you formulate it, but I don't know if I was off my geezer. I had that thought driving into work. I called Fred. I was like, am I tripping? And then I had to ask Kevin if the money even worked.
Yeah, no, and you can make the money work pretty easily. It's just those were my two big concerns. And then you get to a point, let me ask you one more thing. You get to a point, if you really wanted to try to make it the most enticing possible package of players for Boston, not to say that they wouldn't have room for all these people to roster them.
And I think Boston's a little desperate to trade him, so I think you can capitalize on that.
But if you went Gafford, let's say Gafford, Washington, Christie, or Marshall, and pick number 9. There's no part of you that's like, what is still on this team depth-wise?
No. Oh, no. Depth-wise, yes. That's exactly Fred's point. What's the bench?
Yeah.
It gets a little spooky after that. You still have your mid-level exception, so you have to use that. You'll still have pick 30. That will be way more important now. You still have guys like a Nimhard, like a A.J. Johnson, a Pulikitis that all of a sudden might have to play a little bit more. Maybe you try to bring back a guy like Marvin Bagley, even though you don't have his bird rights, a Musa Cisse. Some of those third-string guys now become second-string because you've given up some of your depth. But I think the chance of having a Jaylen Brown on your team doesn't come around very often. And the fact that you already have tradable pieces you're trying to move off of, why not move off of them for an all-star level that you might get a little bit cheaper than usual because of the draft being today, or looming, if you will.
Yeah,
and
the
also,
draft picks are never going to be more valuable than they are in this moment, like in this day. So your starting lineup would look something like Kyrie,
Jaylen
Cooper. Would you try to go a little bit smaller and go Kyrie, then Najee, Jaylen Cooper, Lively?
I think that works. So who would you slot in there? Because you've traded PJ.
Yep, but I kept Najee.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you would pair up Kyrie, Najee, and then go Jaylen Cooper, Lively. Like, I'd make you'd be going a little bit smaller.
In that situation, I would do a lot to try to retain Marvin Bagley. Because I think he could be super integral to being that stretch 4 guy and maybe start. Like, I think Marvin Bagley was underrated last year. I know people didn't watch the Mavs because they were horrible. Marvin Bagley was really good for the Mavs last year.
Offensively and rebounding. Yes. He can be defensively. Turn.
Jaylen Brown. Derek Lively. That's your defensive stalwarts. Cooper. That's your defensive stalwarts right there. You got 3.
It's interesting, but to your point, I think it's not being his team will end up being the biggest issue. But I'm really excited to see what happens. Do you think does he get traded today? Does Jaylen Brown get traded today?
Brian Windhorst said he thinks there's a good chance it could happen today. I'm going to go no. I think I would love to see it, and I think there is a possibility, but if I had to put money on it, I'm going to say no, because I feel like Boston's a little more calculated. Like, I feel like Boston's realizes the value's low, and they're like, we'll wait on it a second. We'll get the best possible offer, but maybe we'll see.